medicine, and money, a recent study shows inaccurate or a delayed diagnosis are the most common causes of malpractice cases. Joining us with more is Dr. David Newman-Toker, professor of neurology and director of Johns Hopkins Medicine's Armstrong Institute Center for Diagnostic Excellence. What are your key findings on this report?
Your viewers have probably heard of medical errors, but they may not have heard of diagnostic errors. And it turns out this is a problem that's flown under the radar screen for some time. Our study, which looked at medical malpractice claims from around the United States, found that diagnostic errors are the most common, most catastrophic, and most costly of all medical errors. In fact, they account for about 1 in 3 of all the medical errors that result in serious harm to patients, such as permanent disability or death.
What is the impact of misdiagnosis on healthcare and on the economy?
For patients, not only individually, but as a society, this is a major problem. We know that patients can be seriously harmed, and we know that this can include loss of life, permanent disability, etc. So this is a critical problem for us. As far as society is concerned, the costs are enormous. Our analysis of data indicate that there's over $2 billion worth of medical malpractice claims alone in the data that we analyzed over the course of 10 years. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have done other studies that have looked at this problem and found that over $100 billion, that's billion with a B, in loss to society from these diagnostic errors each year in the United States. So that's a significant problem from a societal perspective, and one that we need to do more to address.
What's your best advice to patients?
I think it's critical to know that diagnosis is hard, but we all have a role to play. And what I like to tell patients is that there are 3 major things that they can do in an encounter with a physician, one before, one during, and one after their encounter with a provider. Beforehand, they need to come prepared, so they really need to summarize their symptoms and problems and the timeline of events in a simple sort of half-page to one-page summary, so that they can hand that to the physician, and the physician can spend most of the time thinking about the problem, what's causing the symptoms, rather than gathering all this information from them. The second is, during the encounter, they need to ask good questions. They need to ask questions like, what's the worst thing this could be, and why isn't it that? If the doctor can't answer those questions in a way that seems plausible, or if the doctor seems upset that they asked, they probably need to find another doctor and get a second opinion. And finally, what they need to do after they leave is remain vigilant about the possibility of a diagnostic error. So often people leave the doctor's office, they have a diagnosis and a treatment, and if the symptoms don't get better over time, they assume that the treatment's not working. But it turns out that sometimes they have the right treatment for the wrong disease. And they have to know that so that they can go back to the doctor, get the right diagnosis and the right treatment in time before it's too late.
For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.